Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Monica Formosa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the Wide Bay area of Queensland in Australia. Today I want to do a little stamping for the Colour Inspiration Challenge 146. We've got these lovely 4 bright fun colours to work with. Our inspiration photo was picked by our lovely crew member Nicole Wilson. And this challenge runs from the 28th of June to the 9th of July 2023, if you're watching this in the future. Now, this is a pre-recorded video, and I do sometimes struggle with that, so please bear with me. Okay, so love these colours, and I thought I would do a little bit of stamping, Artful Stampin' style. And I follow Ruth Troyce over on her YouTube channel, and she is amazing at this technique, and all her followers try and emulate her, but she has this wonderful skill and absolutely fabulous knack of just being able to put colours and stamps and whatever else together to create these beautiful sheets of stamped cardstock that she then cuts up and uses for her card making and whatever other projects that are going on at the moment. You know, like there's also notebook covers, journals, all sorts of things you can use these for. So these are our colours. We've got Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Pretty Peacock, and Granny Apple Green. Lovely, bright, fun colours, and only 4 colours. So to get around that little dilemma, I've decided that I would do a little bit of second generation stamping to try and grab a few more tones amongst those 4 colours. I will move that out the road. Unfortunately, I've got lots of stamp sets for my project. Nature's Prints, which is what I'll be using first, and then I want to go in with Textured Floral, and then Irresistible Blooms. Possibly what comes next is maybe Petal Park, and then Earthen textures, and then last but not least is the Layering Leaves. So those are the stamp sets that I'll be using. Because there are photopolymer stamps amongst all that, I've got my piercing mat in here. Now I cover mine with a sheet of the grid paper just to protect it a little bit from all my stamping. And I have got a sheet of basic white cardstock. Now, to begin with, what I think I might do to make it easier for myself is I'm going to roughly draw with a pencil very lightly down the center. And if you can use your grid paper if you like to try and get that a little bit to use because it has this wonderful central, this dark line here that runs both ways, and it gives you a central point. Over on this side there is a 0 marking, and up the top here I've got my heading here covering that over, but there's another 0 point, so you can definitely use that to find your central point. I have my grid paper set to inches because that's how I craft. So I'm going to go roughly like see if I can get that. It doesn't have to be exact, just so that I've got an idea on where that central point is, because what I'm going to do is 10.5. What I'm going to do is stamp do some stamping in the center of my page. And create 4 cards. Okay, so that's done. Very, very lightly. At the end of the day, we're probably not going to see any of that. Maybe just the 4 edges, but they will probably be cut off when I go to make my cards. Okay, so let's get started. Granny apple green to begin with. I've also got a piece of scrap paper. I will grab my ink pads out here so they're nice and handy. I don't need my stamp sets because I've got all my stamps mounted. So they can go on my table, also known as my floor. That's my other table. We all have that, I'm sure, in our craft room, that other table. Okay, so Nature's Prince, the lovely fern, and I'm going to stamp off and probably stamp off again. And all I'm doing here is adding a little bit of background. Texture for my background. Okay, I might actually even go up here with another one. Not quite sure, and that's gone out there, so that's good. Okay, so that's that done. So that's finished with. The next thing I'd like to do is stamp our flowers. Now, I made a little discovery earlier. I have got this image here, which comes from the Irresistible Bloom stamp set. And then I've got, oh, excuse me, I've got this one here, which comes out of, what's that one? Textured Floral. Now, I actually discovered that you can put these two together, believe it or not. This one will actually just give the one from Textured Floral just a little bit of added definition. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I need my block, my stamping mat. I'm going to stamp off, maybe go this way, I think. And we're going to stamp 3 flowers in the middle. So this is 2nd generation stamping. Okay, so one here. One here. And one here. So I've stamped 3 and I've stamped them really close in together so that there's none of that white space happening in the center there. I'm just going to wipe that off. So try not to let that get too stained. As you can see, this is a very well-loved stamp. Okay, now I will take my piercing mat away and we will go over the top with Berry Burst. Sorry, I didn't say that to begin with. Berry Burst, 1st generation. And this is a bit tricky because I'm doing this. Okay. It doesn't matter that if these overlap at all. Just turn this a little bit further around this way. Okay. right, so they're not quite perfect, but you get the idea. And it's not meant to be perfect, like they aren't meant to go together, but they marry up quite well. So absolutely love that. All right, so that's our berry burst. And it is a bit tricky because when I stamp this way, I like to use different colors for different flowers and different foliage. But it's a bit tricky when you've only got 4 colors. But anyway, we're getting there. All right, so the next thing I want to do is go in and stamp some smaller flowers. Smaller flowers. Let's do some smaller flowers. And we might do Blackberry Bliss for these. So for those flowers, I have grabbed the little, where is it? These 2 images out of Petal Park. Okay, so we'll do, we will do first generation for, stamping for both of those. I will do my outline first, and we're going to just stamp. Oh, whoops, I should just commit to that. Dang it. I need my, because it's photopolymer, I actually need my cushioning in underneath. And we'll just stamp a heap of these because we can. Right. Turn our page around, make it easier on ourselves. Twisting your stamp as you go. And again, what's the weather like at your place? We've had fog 2 days in a row, and our days have been absolutely magic for this time of year. You would not even think it's winter time here where I live. Right, so now we're going to fill these in. And I'm not going to be too precious about this because I do have a camera that is, and yes, this is quite dark, but it will settle down. Not perfect, but that's okay. I should have just let's move that out the road because I can see me getting ink all over the edge of my cardstock there. Oh, getting better. See, practice makes perfect. And there's one in there for some reason that hasn't been stamped. Can I just maybe try and fill that in? I'm not quite sure how that happened, but there we go. Obviously didn't line something up right the first time. Oh, I'm not quite sure where we're going. There we go. Nope. Okay, so there's our little flowers. Now ideally I would go in and add a third flower, but I don't, because I don't have a lot of color to different colors to work with. I'm going to leave that there, The next thing I want to do is go back in with my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to grab this double leaf image out of, what's that one? Irresistible Blooms. I'll think of it in a minute. And what I want to do now is go around the edge of all these flowers. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. We're going to do first, second, and even third generation stamping. Now this will actually pull your attention into the flowers. It's a great, see how those flowers are now standing out a little bit more. I'll go around that. Doing second generation stamping, and I've got a smudge there for some reason. That's all right. That will probably be cut off anyway. Over there. Turn my page around. Don't be afraid to don't be afraid of overlapping your stamping. It will. All right, so there's that happening. Absolutely love that. The next thing I want to do, yeah, I'm finished with that one. Now, the lovely fourth color is the Pretty Peacock. Now, I've grabbed another image out of Petal Park, and that's this solid leaf here. Now, if we wanted to, we could use both of those. You could probably do that first generation and then fill it in with the second generation, but I have another idea for second generation stamping, and I'm just going to add these in. Over the top, overlapping. Filling in spaces too, you know. I'm turning my page around because it's just a lot easier to stamp. I know where I can see where I'm going a lot better. Okay, I think that's just about it. Let me think. I'll have another look once I know but for now that will do. And then next I want to use this guy here. Now he's a little twig image out of Earthen Textures, this guy here, and any of these lovely images would work, but I'm going to use this guy, and I'm going to use second generation stamping, and what I'm going to do is only ink up from here to the top. I'm not going to use the stem at all. So I'm going to just ink this bit up here. I'm going to stamp off. And we're going to add pulling that Pretty Peacock color out from the middle. bit down, a little bit too far with that. Let me see, just bring this in a bit closer so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so, oops, that was supposed to be second generation. Pull that. It works though, it will still work. Okay, I've got ink everywhere. My pretty peacock is very juicy. Got smudges here everywhere. This is a lovely textural image. I want to go in and add a few more in here. All right, and maybe some over on this side. There we go. Okay. Right. And that's pretty much most of our stamping done. The last thing I will do now is go in with some dottage in Ruth's lovely group that she's got going. That's what we call it. And for that, I'm going to use this lovely image out of, what is this? Oh, Layering Leaves. It has this gorgeous, gorgeous dottage stamp here. Now, if you don't have that, you could, Petal Park has a smaller version. If you wanted to use that, or another option might be to use the larger dottage out of Irresistible Blooms. Okay, but this is my favorite, so this is what I'm going with, and this one is permanently on a stamp block. So what I'm going to do now is anywhere where I want to break up and fill in any gaps, break up the lines of my stamping a little bit. Especially around the edges of those flowers. Anywhere where there's where you're not happy with how your stamping has done, like there's that bit there where I've got a bit of a smudge, so I'll cover that over. Right, I think that's probably all right. So there we go. I think that's done. No, I want to do just maybe up here, and I think that might be it. All right, I can go back later and add more. Remember, you can always add more stamping later on once you cut it up. Okay, now let me try and find my my vellum templates wherever they are. I had one here earlier. Here it is. Okay, so the idea of stamping this way was to cut 4 cards. So disregard those lines here. So if you trim that up, you'll have 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got this lovely white area here, the white space. You can easily add a greeting on there. So that's 4 of those. In a pinch, you could cut that down to, the 8 of those, but you won't have any floral images in the 4 outer ones. Okay, so that's 4 cards, or 8 if you like. Not ideal. You could maybe pull that down and have these ones won't have any floral images, unfortunately. I can't, and that's why I went with here's a 6er. It would work if you don't want any floral images again. What else have I got that we can look at? Yeah, that's probably it. Here's one. Oh, that would kind of work, except you've got these 2 here that don't have any of the purples in there. But if you need a card for a male or more masculine, that would work. You could easily use them for a masculine card. All right, so that's my, and these are just vellum sheets, and what I've gone and done is ruled them up with a Sharpie into different templates that you can use to cut them up with. But my favorite would be this one, because that's how I wanted to go. I wanted to do 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'll do when I'm finished here is I will cut that up. I will cut that up and make up the cards and put the link to my blog post where you can see the cards that I've already finished. Okay, guys, so let me go through everything again. Colors. Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Pretty Peacock, and Granny Apple Green. And I have used 2nd and 3rd generation stamping to try and get more tones of those 4 colours to give me more dimension and depth. Okay, stamp sets in order of use. Nature's Prince. I used the Maidenhair Fern image in my background. And as you can see, like, you barely even know it's there, but it does give a little bit of extra texture in the background. Okay. We did the floral texture, the large floral image here in Berry Burst, 2nd generation Berry Burst, guys. So the Maidenhair Fern was done in 2nd and 3rd and even 4th generation. I think I even went with that image. 2nd generation Berry Burst. Then I went over the top of those images with this larger image here from Irresistible Blooms in 1st generation Berry Burst. Next were leaves. Oh yes, Granny Apple Green leaves in the double leaf image. Petal Park. No, possibly I did the smaller flowers. So Petal Park. These 2 images here in 1st generation Blackberry Bliss. All right, so these 2 here. And then I did the leaves, the Granny Apple leaves. And then I went back in and then I did the Pretty Peacock leaves in this one here. The pretty Peacock twigs, second and third generation from Earthen Textures, and then spottage, most importantly, layering leaves. It's a great little set. This one has got, it's actually a $1 million stamp set, and it's a very handy little stamp set. It's got lots of different images, lots of different sentiments for most of your more common occasions. It'd be a very, and it coordinates with the punch. All right, so there is, I can see a little bit of pencil marking here, so I'm going to go, now that it's dry, completely dry, I will go in and gently take them away, just the edges. And honestly, you probably wouldn't have to have done that, because I have a feeling that that will be cut down to fit onto a card base. But all right, there we go. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. I absolutely love stamping this way, and I've been following Ruth Trice over on Artful Stamping for many years. Possibly at least 4. I think I picked her up during COVID when we were all in lockdown. And I've been watching her ever since, and it's great. Like, it's just a wonderful way to be able to use our stamps. And don't be afraid of mixing up your stamp sets, because Stampin' Up don't have one perfect stamp set for this type of technique. So mix those stamp sets up. Ideally, you need to use 3 sized flowers, and possibly even 3. Like, I did get 3 different foliage images. So that worked well, but ideally 3 different sized flowers, 3 different leaf images in different oh, what's the word? I can't even remember the word, but 3 different styles is what I'm trying to say. So you'd probably need a fuller image, and then a line image, and then like a more of a, what I call it, architectural kind of image that adds a little bit of architecture to your stamping. So, and that's what this one here does, the little twig. All right, so all right guys, that's it from me. I'm starting to waffle, so I'll leave that there for you. Color Inspiration Challenge 146 is open now over on Facebook. If you're so inclined, please head on over there. I'll put the link in my description box underneath this video. And if you're inclined to join us, you will need to you will need to answer a few little security questions before you start, so before you're allowed to join. But yeah, it's a great little group. You don't need a blog. You do not need a blog to participate. But if you do have a blog, if you do have a website, you can add your link to there, and we will go and just for everyone to see, so it'll be good. All right, guys, have a great week, whatever you're doing. I hope the weather's fabulous wherever you are in the world, and thank you for watching. I know everyone has busy lives, so it's been great. All those that are going through difficult times, I send my prayers. We're experiencing that ourselves in our family, so I know what it's like. And I've got a few friends that are going through tricky things at the moment, and heavy stuff. So my love goes out to all of you. All right, bye for now. Love yous all. Bye.